The objective of this video is to answer two questions. What is Our Forest Fund, and how does it support the forest park? Before we talk about Our Forest Fund, we will describe the Port Gamble Forest Heritage Park. This land has been the home of Salish people for hundreds of years. The park consists of 3,500 acres located on the northern tip of the Kitsap Peninsula. In this satellite photo, the park is in the area within the yellow lines. The thin lines are logging roads. It is the oldest mill site in the state of Washington. The park's northern border is just below Port Campbell and the Hood Canal Bridge. The park's southern border is Stottlemyre Road. Highway 3 runs parallel on the west side, and Highway 104 runs parallel on the east side. Trees have been planted and harvested on this site by Pope and Talbot, Pope Resources, and now Rayonier Timber since the late 1800s. This map shows the harvest clear-cuts done over the last 40 years. Kitsap County has owned the parkland since 2017, but didn't have sufficient funds to buy the trees at the time the land was acquired. Rayonier's intention is to continue logging until 2042. This is the reason we formed Our Forest Fund. Our mission is to buy trees before they're clear-cut in future timber harvests. We have two major reasons for buying trees: forest health and human health. The greatest threat to forest health is this kind of clear-cutting. Continuing now with forest health. There are four types of tree stands. They are dense forest, clear-cut, thinned monoculture, and thinned multiculture. Dense forest is unhealthy because trees compete for light, and this makes them grow tall and skinny, and light does not reach the interior. Clear cuts destroy animal habitat, require 30 to 40 years to regenerate, and the cuts are ugly, not park-like. Thinned monoculture with a single species of trees, all planted at one time, allows for understory, but is vulnerable to disease. Thin multiculture, starting with a diverse forest of multiple species and ages, provides habitat for wildlife and is more disease resistant. We prefer to see dense forest stands converted to thin multiculture stands. Turning now to human health. Consider how much better it is for these teenagers to be getting exercise in a safe outdoor setting in a forested park. As screen addiction and obesity have become critical issues, it is no surprise that health recommendations now include being outside in nature as one good way to remedy them. Is this example a good thing? Absolutely it is. Is this example a small thing? Of course it is. Why does this tiny bit of recreation matter? It matters because it is a real-life example of individuals benefiting from the forest park. However, a sustainable community forest park filled with trees supports much more. Here's a list: recreation, education, carbon sequestration, water retention, wildlife habitat, and volunteering. In the English countryside, commons was the name given to land that was accessible to all. What are commons? Commons are resources managed for the community. They are not owned by private parties. As our forest park transitions from private to public ownership, it is becoming a commons. However, a forest park without trees lacks an essential ingredient. Now we would like to introduce the principals who started Our Forest Fund. From left to right, they are Alia Prezada, Kim Greenwood, and Lynn Shorn. Each will address a single topic in the short clips that follow.
And finally, I couldn't say, well, we should save this and not that. I think that a forest works all together, and I just said we need to save it all.
The bottom line is healthy native forests support healthy wildlife habitat.
I've been fortunate over the last 35 years to have access to this land. And in fact, as you can see, this forest will be gone tomorrow.
Without tree purchases, this is what many of the forest parks tomorrow's will look like. Approved harvest plans permit clear cutting of about half the park's total area. Here's a question we are often asked: why should I contribute to Our Forest Fund? Here's our answer. Your contribution will help establish the forest park as a commons. The legacy of the commons is forest health and human health. This is why we hope you choose to make a charitable contribution to Our Forest Fund. Your contribution to Our Forest Fund is tax deductible. Our Forest Fund is a designated fund under the Kitsap Community Foundation, a 501c3 charity. You can contribute in two ways. If you want to contribute by credit card, please go to our website. www.ourforestfund.org/donate. If you prefer to write a check, please make it out to Our Forest Fund, Kitsap Community Foundation, and mail it to Kitsap Community Foundation, P.O. Box 3670, Silverdale, Washington 98383. Thank you for watching our video, and here's a final word.
I would like to tell you about Our Forest Fund. www.ourforestfund.org. We are trying to save trees. Buy trees. In Port Campbell.